Okay, so the first exercise says the following. A body of a mass 26 kilograms moving at a speed of 7 meters per second collides with a body of a mass 16 kilograms which is at rest. If the two bodies stick together uncolliding, find the velocity with which the combined mass moves off. So this is the formula we're going to use, okay? So basically, the formula says the following. It says the mass of the first object plus multiplied by the initial velocity of the first object plus the mass of the second object by the initial velocity of the second object is equal to the mass of the first object by the final velocity of the first object plus the mass of the second object by the velocity of the second object. Okay, so it's a bit confusing, but we have to get our heads around. So basically, if we have an object, let's say this one, right? That's the first body, and this body here, and they collide. It says that they're gonna move together as one object. So basically, they'll just move like this. So one moves this direction as x meters per second squared. The other one moves at x meters per second squared too. And when they collide, they stick together and they move at the same velocity. So the final velocity on both bodies are gonna be the exact same, and that's where the trick is. Okay, so we start putting numbers into here. We get the mass of the first object, which is 26 by 7 meters per second square, plus 16, which is the mass of the second body, which is at rest, so it's not moving, is equal to the mass of the first body, which is 26, and v, the final velocity, we don't know what it is, and this is what the exercise is telling us. So it's going to be v1 plus 16 v2, and then you say v1 and v2. You can't solve an equation with two variables in it. But the thing is that in this case, as I said, v1 is equal to v2 because they're both of the objects are gonna stick together and are gonna move at the same speed. So basically, we can call v1 and v2. We could just call them v because they're the same. So now we can do some maths. Okay, so I get the calculator, and we get that 26 by 7 is 182. This is 0 is equal to 42v. So now we got the 42v is equal to 182. V is equal to 182 divided by 42, which gives us the value of V is equal to 4.33 meters per second. Okay, and remember always to put in the value, the unit. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, you just have to try to find the logic of the problem and see what you can do. Okay, because these problems have a lot of like this, they're a bit tricky, but once you do a few, you just get used to them. Okay, so we're gonna do something different. Okay, basically we have a similar exercise that says a body of a mass 40 kilograms with a velocity of 5 meters per second collides with another mass 21 kilograms which is moving at 8 meters per second in the opposite direction. Okay, just bear that in mind, keep that in mind, opposite direction. Okay, the bodies stick together uncolliding. Find the velocity with which the combined mass moves off. So what I was saying here, the opposite direction. Okay, you say, oh, it's exactly the same exercise. It actually isn't, because for example, when you say that this object, okay, let's just say a body here is moving at 1 meter per second. If I tell you that this body here is moving at 2 meters per second, it's not actually moving at 2 meters per second. This one is moving at minus 2 meters per second, but it's not actually that one. It could be any of those, but they have to have the opposite sign because they're going to the opposite direction. Okay, so that's where the trick is. Okay, so either one of those has to have a minus because it's going to the opposite direction of the other one, and it doesn't matter which one it is, but you have to keep it. So if you're saying the velocity of one, okay, always has to be minus. But if you say that the velocity of body 1 is minus, then you have to keep it that way for the rest of the exercise, okay? So that's the little trick, okay? So, now that we know that, let's do the exercise. So we have 40 kilograms by 5 meters per second plus 21 kilograms by minus 8, okay? I'm going to call the other one minus 8 because it's moving at the opposite direction. So I'm going to call body 2 the minus. And now again, they collide together, so the velocity of both of them is going to be the same. So V1 and V2 is the same, so we're just going to call them V. So we have 14 V plus 21 V. Okay, so for this we get that 5 is 200, 21. So we have 21 by minus 8 is minus 168, and this is gonna be equal to 61 V. So we do the exact same. So we have here 61 V is equal to 32, and we got V is equal to 32 divided by 61, which gives us the answer of 61 divided by 32. 32 divided by 61 is 0.525 meters per second, okay? And remember, always put the unit, because you might get marks off if you don't, okay? So that's it for exercise 1, okay? I'm going to upload the sheet I'm using here for the entire exercise, the entire exam, onto the description of the video, so you can go and download it if you want to.